Today on the Topping Show, Matt Walsh ratios Oregon congressman on X when discussing the state's lack of law and order. An old clip of Hillary Clinton saying that tax dollars should not be used on illegals goes viral. Leftists say that assassinations are okay and they were happy that Donald J. Trump was shot. Subaru kills their entry-level BRZ trim option. And Sunbeam recalls their countertop oven. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT, value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, say your founder at least twice a day. Guy says quite handsome and brilliant. He's BC, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase with pick container without adapters, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more and see me shoot a Flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends and your enemies, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Subaru killing their entry-level BRZ. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Adam Eastmail, who's a writer at thedrive.com. And also, another good news day, I do not need to give you a visual disclaimer because Subaru BRZ looks pretty cool, as you'll see right here. Now, they say, quote, nobody bought the base BRZ, so now it's gone. Subaru says that just 1 in 10 BRZ buyers have gone with the base trim so far this year, so it's getting rid of it. Is that a good enough reason? Here you can see the Subaru BRZ, the brother sister to the Toyota 86. Spoiler, they're made in the same factory, just as the, well, what was a Scion FRS all those years ago before Toyota killed that brand. Again, it's a fun little coupe, great track toy, comes with manual transmission, really cool. Not the best engine because, well, reliability wise, because, you know, Subaru. But again, fun track toy, great daily driver, and it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, no one was buying the entry-level option, so it's gone. Now, they say, quote, it's almost 2026 and everything is getting pricier, especially cars. Subaru BRZ, which has historically been one of the only cheap paths for a rear-wheel drive sports car, is started at under $29,000. When the second generation coupe hit the scene for the 2022, going forward, oh geez Louise. Going forward, it will start at $37,055. After the extortion of sales tax, registration, and the dealer markups, it's going to be like $45,000, 50 grand. I mean, the point of this vehicle was a cheap entry-level fun little car. That's insane. Now they say, quote, now it isn't merely a story of raising prices or even tariffs. What Subaru has done here is axe BRZ's base trim, frustratingly that they called it premium, which don't even get me to the car trim options that they call these days. It's just so complex, it's a pain in the rear. And say, quote, for 2025, a BRZ premium started at $34,380. The other two trims, the limited, which was higher than premium, so limited is better than premium, and the TS, which started at $37,000 and $39,555 respectively. Prices of those are not increasing outside of what appears to be a 25 higher destination and delivery charge. Hey, gotta keep up with inflation, right? They say, reading Subaru's press release, the justification for deleting the entry-level trim isn't explicitly made, but is hinted at. Subaru says that only 1 out of every 10 buyers opted for their premium option last year, which, again, is a stupid name for an entry-level, but nevertheless. That only translated to 210 of the 2,107 BRZ sold throughout August 2025. Dear God. Is that an automatic transmission they have in the promo pic right there? Ugh. You don't get an automatic transmission BRZ, people. Besides that eyesore in the middle there, well, actually, it looks like a pretty good interior. Now they say, quote, for sure the BRZ that most people tend to buy is sticking around and not going up in price. That's nice. For now, still the rising cost of entry level is tough, swallowing for what used to be a cheap ticket to fun ride. Now the least expensive BRZ you can buy has suede seats. That's nice and all, but there's probably some BRZ fans out there who just want no frills rear drive sports car with 6-speed manual transmission. The only options they care about are mechanical. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. They say, as for the BRZ's cousin, the Toyota 86, again, same exact assembly plant. We don't know how much it'll cost for the upcoming model year, nor if Toyota will axe any trims as Subaru has done. 2025, though, the Toyota 86 started at $31,595, or the upper grade premium, yeah, in Toyota speak, that word actually means what you think it means, ran for $34,195. Those numbers stay the same, then Toyota's got a clear value advantage heading to 2026, which would be nice, particularly as the GR Corolla's price is firmly in the $40,000 price range now, which, Toyota is actually a lot better about supporting race programs too. I think last year, continuing this year, you have free membership from NASA, which is a track club, and they actually have you, if you buy it, again, you have to buy a new Subaru, Toyota 86, Supra, whatever, or Corolla. If you get the GR edition, which is the top trim line for that, Gazoo Racing, it's a thing where they actually have a program where they'll teach you how to drive your car as is intended. You actually have an instructor in you with the car. You drive around the track. They tell you how to drive, help you improve. It is one of the coolest promos out there in the automotive industry. I would argue, bar none. It's really cool. I mean, if I had to choose, I would go Toyota just for that option and get it. I think it was a 1-year free membership. You still have to pay for the track days. But yeah, free membership to that club and get that experience for that one day as well, where they actually take you out there with the Toyota team and teach you how to drive. And it's rough because, again, it's getting harder and harder to have a fun car these days, especially at an affordable price point. And I still can't believe, again, maybe this is just because so many people love to do car loans for 7, 12 years or whatever it is these days, that they don't mind getting the more expensive option because they say, oh, it's only a couple more dollars per month. Unfortunately, they don't look at how much that costs them when you add those ginormous rates at which you're loaning for a vehicle these days. Those interest rates are abhorrent, to say the least. And when you get to these price points, I would argue just get a used one because we're a lot cheaper. Again, it's apples to oranges comparing a new car to a used car. But, man, I'm glad they're still making it. Now, another reason they're also probably are just fine killing the entry-level option. For honest, less profit. I mean, one of those comical things about Porsche, though I love to aspire to own one of those cars one of these days, they have more options. They're pretty much everything on the planet. You can get your favorite stick color. The paint on a Porsche, if you get a custom paint job, costs more than my entire car, which is hilarious. But also, I guess it makes sense if it's a small run. Well, no, it doesn't. It's mostly profit, but it's also great customization. The more options you have on a vehicle, the more bells and whistles, the more profit there is for the manufacturer. And you saw this with American SUVs a couple years ago as well, when the pandemic hit. I mean, a lot of these instances, they chose to focus on the most profitable, complex, and bells and whistles vehicles. That's where a company makes most of their money. So it's sad that, again, Subaru is killing it. I don't think it's just because of lack of demand. I also think it's kind of compounded with the fact that, again, they're making a lot less profit per unit when they're selling these things. Now, maybe Subaru will wake up and someday put a turbo in this thing. That it boggles my mind. They don't do that from the factory for the top trim line. There should be an STI trim level for the BRZ. There isn't. It's a little disappointing. I think you just get they increase the suspension to make it a little bit nicer, get a couple extra pieces of plastic on it so it looks a little bit cooler. But yeah, it's utterly disappointing if you come to know the STI for the WRX. That's iconic. You get massive turbos. It's a race package. It's a lot more increase in performance. Subaru, better suspension, yeah. But no increased power, which, that's utterly disappointing, but that's just me. So it's sad to see this thing go away. And I don't know if at that price point, would you go something else? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Cultural Report podcast, you have Matt Walsh roasting Congresswoman Maxine over in Oregon over their state's state of destruction, which I'm not sure is grammatically correct, but it does sound as awkward as I usually am. Now, it's brought to us, thanks, of course, by Matt Walsh, hashtag Matt Walsh blog on X. He's responding to Congresswoman Maxine Dexter. Never seen Dexter in the real world in terms of that name use. It's kind of a silly name, almost as bad as Topping. Oh, wait, nevertheless. Now, she says, quote, scenes from the war-ravaged Portland today. My message to Trump's troops, you're not needed, you're not wanted, go home. That got this ratio is worth some of my videos. I got 5.8 million views, but only 6.7 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to Clown World saying, quote, stop lying, Maxine. And it's just a regular Portland, Oregon street where, there's people inebriated, doing drugs, lying around the streets, stealing.
Is that bro, everybody's targeting me on the side that's weak. Stop fucking being a loser over being
This is the state that said we need to ban straws, but we're not going to ban drugs.
In order to censor me.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a fun poll. Which one is worse, San Francisco or Portland?
Not give it up.
He's having a rough day.
Yeah, that's it's stay in disarray. That got 5.1 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, should have done your job and he won't be doing it for you, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Spitfire says, Antifa prefers federal buildings, but you know that, dude, getting 665 likes. Yeah, remember when they literally annexed parts of Portland for months? People even died, and the government did nothing there. Like, oh yeah, want to shoot someone? Yeah, that's fine. Want to take over entire parts of the state? Yeah. We'll let you set up the chat or the chop or the blop, or whatever they call it, zone. David Sullivan, pronouns prosecute Fauci, says, must not have went. It says Antifa, they're the foot soldiers of the Democrat Party, gave 5 likes. Jeff says, scenes from my house. This 4x4 section proves my entire house is spotless and there are no chores to be done. My message to the wife, your commands are to clean the garage are not needed or warranted. Getting 2,000 likes. American Brushfire says, everything is fine. It's a person in the desert with a close-up camera just taking a picture of the one green thing, getting 5.2 thousand likes. I mean, she is ratioed worse than me. Now going to Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh did respond saying, quote, my favorite genre of this post is where liberals try to prove some shithole city isn't shithole by taking a picture of a random 0.05 acre space of land when someone isn't clearly being taken advantage of the worst possible way or murdered. And Matt Walsh got 1.7 million views and 66,000 likes, which is obviously quite a few to say the least. He continued saying, quote, you think it's dangerous here? Well then, why isn't there anyone here currently overdosing in this very small piece of specific area, huh? Ha, gotcha. Getting 5.1 thousand likes, which it would have been even more hilarious if there's some needles from drugs there, which would be more accurate to the average, area in Portland and Oregon. Conservative Alternative simply says, quote, it's like they don't think we don't remember that Antifa only comes out at night like vampires or cockroaches. Some dilapidated cities on fire, getting 209 likes. Alex Grace, that poor son of a bitch, he's a conservative stuck in the hellhole that is Canada, with freedom in America being right there, so close. Imagine. Now he says, quote, Portland is compromised, it's hardly redeemable even if they have a park, getting 5 likes. Amelia Henderson simply says a compilation of all the hellhole that is Portland, getting 14 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Bean Black is a vibe says, quote, funny how people call cities shitholes while visiting them for sports, concerts, restaurants, and jobs. If they really were that unlivable, they'd be ghost towns. Getting 45 likes, which I'm not sure this person has ever done any research in terms of, geographic movements of Americans, especially during the pandemic. People left those shitties because of the crime, because of the riots. I mean, you saw a mass exodus from most major cities into the suburbs and in the country. And in terms of the jobs, I mean, California, one of the poster boards for lawlessness and Antifa and riots. You've had 200 plus businesses leave California in the past 5 years. I think I've heard of one that's moved to California. Thing with New York and Illinois. Again, I mispronounced as a slight to that place, Illinois. But nevertheless, they all moved to places like Florida, Texas, Tennessee, places that are much more attractive, not just from a regulatory perspective, but also a lot safer. There's a lot more law and order. Scrolling down, you also have Miss B says Democrats walking through their congressional district. It's a guy in a suit walking through the hood, getting 623 likes. Miss B has a picture of a cute dog and then a child praying. Says, quote, and deliver us from liberal white women, getting 242 likes, which, yeah, they usually vote like that. Let's see. Og Hammer says, quote, liberals are so upset with Trump, you would think he stole 90% of the Haitian relief fund, sold 20% of our uranium to Russia, and deleted 33,000 emails, and let innocent American dies in Benghazi. Getting 33 likes, which, that wasn't, spoiler, that was Clinton. Let's see. Starla says, clearly then Ukraine is not at war. Look at this picture taken of them this year. It's just a city looking good, getting 427 likes. This B also has a picture of Mr. Seymour Skinner in The Simpsons, the meme where he goes, am I out of touch? But he's being labeled the Democrat Party, or it says, am I out of touch? No. Fighting for the rights of violent, illegal criminals is exactly what Americans want us to do. Getting 146 likes. Let's see. One Lane Highway says Calvin Hobbes, September 17th, 1992. Calvin goes, this is what I like about photography. People think cameras always tell the truth. They think the camera is a dispassionate machine that only records facts, but really cameras can lie all the time, select the facts and manipulate the truth. For example, I cleared off this portion in the corner of my bed to take a picture of here, but crop out this mess, and it looks like I made my room tidy. And Hobbs goes, is that even legal? Goes, wait, let me comb my hair and I'll put a tie on. They got 161 likes. Freedom Memes says a picture of the boring villain from James Bond Casino Royale. Where he says, "Feel strange, Mr." Well, yeah, I don't even know what his accent was. Does feel strange, Mr. Bond? That's because I laced your drink with Tylenol. You have autism now. Getting 50 likes. Let's see. America Forever says, "Don't make me tap the sign." It's a tweet from Millennial Woes saying, quote, "It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible." Getting 172 likes. Urge is a habit says, quote, "Nothing is happening." Says, "A lie used by dishonest bottom feeders who know it's happening but want you to stay passive and avoid taking action." Getting 47 likes. Bloodsport says, "Check out Somalia," which is a picture of beautiful sand and actually no famine, no destruction, no war. Getting 48 likes. I also have Zingo the Guitar Man says, quote, "Commies are too simple and predictable these days." It says, "No country can be survived, be ruled by people who hate it." Getting 25 likes. Yep. See. MK Ultra Victim says, "Started with this," and it's a tweet from Conan O'Brien says, "Haiti is such a beautiful country." Okay. He got 51,000 likes for that, and it got 36 likes here, which, yeah, that very specific picture of Haiti. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, is there any contrarian statements here? Let's see. Libs hate us. Somebody says, "Women do not belong in politics." Getting 181 likes. Was he ratioed? No. Kate, someone by the name of Kate, who describes herself as a reformed Democrat, proud MAGA now, been to 3 Trump rallies on Extra Fun Entertainment. Now she says, quote, "I'm a woman and I approve this message." And then she has a gif of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump in the gif is going, "I'm Donald J. Trump and I approve this big, beautiful message." He might not sound that bad, but it actually might be the worst Trump impression you heard all year. But nevertheless, the attempt was made. Going back to the main comment section. Let's see. The Natural Skeptic typically has a big picture, AI-generated picture of a giant syringe on a park, getting 3 likes. Which, yeah, a lot of people with the memes of someone with the camera. And the whole area is burnt down, but the camera's pointing at the one live plant. Let's see. Mitty says, "Can confirm Portland is a shithole city. Moved out of Oregon a few years back. Violence, smell, etc. wasn't worth the risk." Getting 28 likes. This is a contrarian statement. Someone by the name of Jesse Coleman says he's a Lower Manhattan native, an attorney. His picture of the Spirit Halloween costume parody. Says, "Conservative guy scared of cities." Saying, "I saw," the meme is a guy, conservative guy, got just t-shirt, jeans. It says, "Saw the thing on the news. Too many of those people there. Can't park Ford Super Duty. Not scared, bro." He got 49 likes. Was he ratioed? No. But, I mean, if you look at any crime stats, yeah, let's just say when more people died in Chicago than we had soldiers in Iraq, to the point where we called Chicago Chirac, yeah, there's some truth with those statements when it comes to the violence. Billy Bass says, I'm more scared of a rural conservative town surrounded by trees than the mayor Democrat-run cities. Get 19 likes. Has he never heard of Chicago? He was ratioed. He did get 19 likes. Air Raid Revenge says, "Whether either retarded, B, a huge lefty and less afraid of any right-wing ideology, or C, you're really just effing afraid of nature." Getting 32 likes, which, yeah, I don't know anyone of intelligence who would say they're more scared than a rural conservative town than a Democrat-run city. Let's see. William says, "You're lying or seriously effing stupid. The last murder where I live was during the Civil War. Crime is almost non-existent in majority of rural towns. Around me, we have 0 cops as they are not needed." Oh yeah, he says it's 100% white. By all means, stay reacting 6 likes, which I don't think there's no crime because of the racial demographics. I got lucky. Throughout my life, I lived in a mix of suburbs and cities. And they're pretty diverse suburbs, and they were still a lot less crime than cities. And here's very famous, going viral. The No Witch says, "Here's an example of the hellhole that Portland is." And this is a video from the Portland, where is it? This underpass where it's become like a lost civilization. With all the trash. And there are people living down there. And it's sad because, yeah, these people need help. And giving them
Are you doing
access.
okay?
Yeah.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Was this fire started deliberately?
Yeah, you got control.
Oh my God.
And you're not helping these people by having unlimited drugs and not enforcing any laws. And yeah, there's a lot of homelessness. John Doe Sims says Portland, it's all the trash and it looks like a public park. Gain 2 likes. Guy Rogers says Democrats want you to know that as long as you stay out of the actual city, then the government's mostly fine because the actual city is dystopian horrorscape. There's that other clip of the shitty going viral, getting 103 likes. Which, yeah, personally, you couldn't pay me to live in any city. And yeah, I mean, someone says Portland is so beautiful. It's a lot of people are overdosing. 13 likes. And again, they really did that. They banned plastic straws, but they decriminalized, I think it was any drug under a certain gram. It's just ridiculous. I mean, let me know in the comments. Where would you rather live? A city or a suburb? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part podcast, you have an old clip of Hillary Clinton saying that we shouldn't use tax dollars for illegals going viral on social media. Now, this brought to us thanks to Libs of TikTok. And she just quotes Hillary Clinton. And not too much further ado, let's hear what she has to say. At least she did wear a green suit, which, you know me, I like green. So she did one thing right. And actually, she says something right. Rare.
As to illegal aliens, we agree with you that we do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
Dear God. Hillary Clinton is right. Well, at least she was way back then. Now, I guess I should clarify. Hillary Clinton is obviously a very beautiful, intelligent woman. She's never had a disproportionate amount of people around her commit suicide, like 20 plus people. And just coincidentally, I want to let people know I don't own any rope and want to live a very long, healthy life. Just coincidentally, I want to throw that out there, just for the record. But again, this shows how much political stances have shifted, so much so in the past couple of years. Again, nowadays they say, oh no, you're entitled to have free services from the government. You're entitled for free healthcare, even if you're not even a citizen. If you don't think people deserve free stuff, you're uncompassionate, you're heartless. No, Democrats understand. Back then, they don't anymore. Or maybe they do, and that's why they're doing it, saying they want more free stuff, so that people come here, because, again, they want free stuff. Nowadays, you say that if you dare say people shouldn't get free stuff, you're evil. Ostracized from the left. Ostracized from the Democrat Party, even. And yet, yeah, back in the day, Republicans and Democrats said, you know what? We shouldn't be giving these benefits out because we're incentivizing them to come here illegally. Our country used to be a lot more united way back in the day. Now, went pretty viral. And Elon Musk actually responded saying, quote, funny to think Bill Clinton's policies when he was president were essentially MAGA, getting 1.6 million views and 92,000 likes, which, yeah, Bill Clinton back in the day, yeah. I mean, back then, Democrat Party also used to say abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. They agreed it was a morally bad thing, and they didn't like it. I mean, even Republicans, they wanted to ban it. They also agree with the Democrats that abortion is a bad thing. And yet, now you see such a radical shift, especially on the Democrat side. There was an abortion mobile outside of the DNC convention last year. The Democrats went from safe, legal, and rare to celebrating it on social media and encouraging it pretty much with no limit. Places like Minnesota, which I mispronounce as a slight to that state, they have abortion legal all the way up to term. That's what they vote for. That's what they want over there. It shows how dramatic our country has shifted. I mean, Bill Clinton actually, at the time, some people critiqued him. He was more tough on crime. Now, obviously, he had a lot of things wrong with him, obviously. But, yeah, even back then. Now, going to the comments, got, again, 1.6 million views and 92,000 likes. Zupa says, quote, Hillary Clinton of back then would be considered far right now, getting 574 likes. Yep. It's actually what Libs TikTok said. Yep, getting 150 likes. Dr. Shari actually says, wow, Hillary Clinton saying they should be deported? Whoa, yeah. If a Democrat were to say this now, they'd be ostracized immediately if they even just uttered the word deported.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone.
Agreed.
If they
And now they have whole campaigns standing up for the people who committed crimes, and they actually fight for the criminals. Yeah, like the Maryland man who had a long track record of allegedly human trafficking and abusing his wife. That's who the Democrats are standing up for now.
they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait.
A Democrat would never dare say you have to learn any English or yet alone do anything to actually repay the theft.
In line.
They got 524 likes.
So-
Again, I think one of the biggest issues of the United States, politically speaking, and one of the worst mechanisms or perverse incentives was saying, oh yeah, we'll just give amnesty every couple of years. Because then they know if you come here illegally, odds are it won't be enforced, you won't be booted out, and then it'll just amnesty you. Because it's happened multiple times for decades. You also have Libercrat Media TM says, quote, it's different when they say it or do it, getting 53 likes. Our favorite contrarian, well, not really, but it seems to be the only person on the left that I follow who does comments still. Trump Tracker says, quote, literally not a single politician is saying we should fund healthcare for illegal immigrants. Not one. What the? How dumb is this person? Got 47 likes, though. And yeah, that's literally, I mean, someone in the comments actually beat me to it. Bean Counter says Gavin Newsom is getting 26 likes. Which, yeah, they what was it? They spent $400 million on illegal? I mean, California needed more money because they burnt out the budget on illegals who shouldn't be here for the healthcare. You also have New England conservatives saying, quote, during the Democrat debate in 2019, they all raised their hands when asked if the healthcare plan includes coverage for illegals, getting 28 likes. Conservative Mamo 5 says, literally, that's what they all want to do. All Democrats getting 14 likes. Nagasuba Poppy says his profile picture is openly encouraging political violence. Facts are not going to work, getting 6 likes. Going back to the main comment section. Holt says Obama was MAGA on border policy, which, yeah, a lot of people don't realize this. Obama actually deported more people when he was in office than I think Trump did the first time around. I mean, they actually called him pejoratively deporter in chief when Obama was in office. Now, Obama said in 2006, quote, those who enter our country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. And because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, and unchecked. Americans are right to demand better border security and better enforcement of immigration laws. Getting 67 likes. 68 likes now. Jolly Roger says, here's Chuck Schumer also stating illegals would defraud Social Security at the cost of taxpayers. Democrats in the 90s were MAGA.
Thank the gentleman, salute him for his work on this, rise in support of the amendment. First of all, Social Security card is used from one end of America to the other as an identification card right now. Who are we kidding? If you want to pass a law and says it shouldn't be, I would ask the chairman and the distinguished minority member of the Social Security committee to pass that law, but let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration.
So just a juxtaposition of what they used to stand for now. They used to actually want to fight fraud back in the day. They seem to cause it now. They got 359 likes. Is there any more contrarian statements here? Lumpy says, signed into law by President Bill Clinton on September 30th, 1996, the 1996 Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act, that's a mouthful, allowed deportation without a judicial hearing through a process called expedited removal. Gained 14 likes. Let's see here. Magami says, I asked Grok for deportation counts by president and was surprised to see the results provided. Why are they attacking ICE now? And you say, let's see here. Yeah, like George H.W. Bush was 100,000. Bill Clinton was 870,000. George Bush was 2 million. Barack Obama was 3 million. Donald Trump was only 935,000. Wow. Joe Biden was 1.5 million. Then Donald Trump, 400,000. Which again, one of those things where I'm very skeptical about the deportation. ICE and Donald Trump, they're not giving the official deportation numbers. They're saying we're estimating this many people self-deported, but yeah, if they're not giving our numbers like every single week, I start to think that number is probably pretty damn small, and I'm pretty skeptical. Is any more? I don't see any contrarian statements here. But yeah, this is going viral, and it just shows how far they've changed. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news: you have leftists cheering on assassination, as well as saying they're glad Donald Trump was shot. As Bartos thinks to end wokeness. I'm sorry, I should put a visual disclaimer on the screen. You're about to see a leftist, which you know what she looks like. And he says, quote, these are not revolutionaries. These are all regular leftists you see every day, outright advocating for murder. It's, I don't want to say there's a 100% chance she owns 15 cats, but yeah, probably.
I don't want to be a violent person, but in this case, I feel like that we just need to, I hate to say the word, but assassinate him.
What was your reaction this July when the assassin...
And she says, stop the hostile takeover. It's Elon Musk with a little Charlie Chaplin Hitler mustache.
Almost got Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Happy that he missed, or
Yeah, she's smiling too.
happy that it happened?
No, happy that it happened. And too bad that it wasn't in the head.
What was your reaction in July when...
And you know he's a leftist because he has 0% muscle mass on him. And wearing a rudimentary t-shirt with the Meeseeks guy from Rick and Morty and Trump. Yeah.
That assassin came an inch away from ending Trump.
Disappointment that they didn't follow through. They missed.
That shot,
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God. It could have been wonderful.
If he'd been shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can sum it up in one word.
Drad that it happened or drad that it missed?
Drag that it missed. I won't lie.
I do not support violence in any way.
Why do these guys have 0% muscle mass? The weakest simps of all. He's got a t-shirt that has Trump on it with the, again, Charlie Chaplin mustache.
I'm gonna let you finish it, Charles.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm so shy and reserved. My thought was, if he'd had a good scope instead of a red dot, we would not be going through this. I consider that kid to be a hero.
And of course, he has the Ukrainian flag on his hat. So they'll support a country they can't even point to on a map and applaud when our president is shot. Which tells you a lot about leftists these days. This went pretty well. I got 1.1 million views and 30,000 likes. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to Gunther Eagleman, saying, quote, white liberal women are the problem, getting 886 likes, which, based on voting patterns, Magic 8-Ball would say yes. Yeah, absolutely. Democrat Media TM says, quote, if you ever wanted to see a brainwashed, clueless leftist looks like, look at this, getting 103 likes. American Pop Bear says, quote, why are all these protesters old liberal boomers, getting 156 likes, which, that and the, was it, female age 18 to 30? Those are the two of the biggest groups, demographics that vote for Democrats. Paul Zupa says, quote, this is why President Trump should never negotiate with Democrat lawmakers. They are elected by these monsters who promote murder of innocent Americans. These people are truly horrible. Getting 450 likes. Spitfire says, bring back asylums, get 142 likes. And yeah, another big juxtaposition of the two parties. 3 if you want to throw in libertarians. When was the last time you actually heard someone on the right applaud anyone on the left being hurt or having their life ended? You see this one, I mean, it's just utterly disgusting how they're cheering when Trump was shot and when Charlie Kirk was murdered. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, leftists were rejoicing. They're making merchandise of Charlie Kirk's shot and selling it. They were gleeful. Those are the types of monsters that are out there. David Sullivan, pronounced prosecutor Fauci, says, quote, "We deal with the threats every day for being American." As a Simpsons meme of the factory injuries, it says 0 days without Democrats killing innocent people, gained 24 likes. The conservative alternative says, quote, "All these people are inciting violence by saying this stuff against the president of the United States, no less. This is straight up treason." There's a picture of Kash Patel, little meme saying it sounds a little treasony, getting 108 likes. Ridiculous Take says, quote, "They want to take arms against their neighbors." Yep, getting 3 likes. Let's see. Mirthful Moments says accurate, and it says far-right extremism. Debates college students, preaches gospel, starts a beautiful family, wants an open dialogue. Far-left extremism, which, you know, it's lefty because it's a guy wearing a dress with short pink hair. And they're missing a cow ring, but almost the whole costume is almost there. And it says, quote, "Murder you for speaking in public, hates godliness and spreads Satanism, hates their parents, wants to silence all opposition," getting 602 likes. Checks out. So says American says, get him out. It says, "I'm past the point of willing to deport, or I'm past the point of wanting to deport illegals. I want to deport people who want them here too." Getting 230 likes. God and Country simply says, "Democrats have reached the murder your political opponent stage of democracy," getting 492 likes. Yep. Let's see. The Culinarian, formerly known as something, says, quote, "Stop saying we're all violent." It's all the leftist memes. It's a traditional guy or a trad guy saying stop being violent, getting 158 likes. Let's see. Mirthful Moment says leftism is insane. It says a liberal is someone who wants you to think like them. A conservative is someone who just wants you to think. Getting 237 likes. Raj says Nazi versus Democrat, says, socialism versus socialism, no guns, censorship, media mind control, abortion, hates Jews. And they said add whites on the Democrat side, and says worships the government, getting 75 likes. Let's see. Brandon, let's go, has the Lisa Simpson meme. It says, "The side that consistently says your words are violence wasn't saying it to shut their opposition up. They're saying it to encourage their side to commit actual violence and feel justified doing so." Getting 140 likes, which, yep. We also have Nice Jewish Boy having a screenshot from Gentry, or a screenshot of a tweet from Gentry Gevers saying, "Conservatives think guns are for protection and hunting because that's what they use them for. Liberals think guns are for murder and destruction because that's what they use them for." Getting 154 likes. Citizen Caller says, "Left is basically daring Trump to declare martial law." Picture of Forrest Gump. It's a meme says, "What if the left calls Trump a dictator because they plan to get so violent he'll have no choice?" Getting 178 likes. Let's see. Mr. Patel has a quote from Javier Milei, one of the few, I would argue, good politicians out there. Granted, it's a low bar. He says, quote, "The underlying values of leftism are hate, envy, resentment, unequal treatment under the law, and violence," unquote. Getting 217, 218 likes. Donna has a picture of Elon with a quote saying the left is a party of murder, getting 145 likes. Here he says, quote, or she's quoting the guy from the clip saying, "If he had a good scope, the man wearing a Hitler Trump shirt, these people all want us dead." Getting 124 likes. Yep. Let's see. I screenshot stupidity. He has a screenshot of the gal from the first clip of the video, or very beginning of the video. It says, "POV, you're about to hear the worst opinion ever." Getting 130 likes. And unfortunately, I think we're just going to see this with greater and greater frequency and more political violence. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day of Sunbeam recalling their countertop ovens because it might, burn you. Now, this brought to us thanks to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, perhaps the only useful government website, granted, pretty low bar. And they say, quote, "Sunbeam Products recalls more than 1 million Oster French door countertop ovens due to a burn hazard." And here you can see that oven being used for a promo picture, in this case, fancy homemade pizza. Multi-level oven and 2 doors, or it opens up like a fridge. That's fancy. I'm more of a microwave man myself. Now, they say, quote, "The recall involves Oster French door countertop ovens with models TSS, TTV, FDXL, And a couple others, they say the recalled ovens have a spring-loaded bilateral door made of glass with metal handles. A label on the backside of the oven identifies the model number. In addition, the original packaging has information identifying the model number. The 4 models differ in cooking options. Again, the other 3 models are TSS, TTV, FDDG, TSS, TTV, FDMAF, and TSS, TTV, FDDAF. Now, in terms of what goes wrong, they say, quote, the oven's doors can unexpectedly close, posing a burn hazard to consumers. Whoops. They say that consumers should immediately stop using the recalled countertop ovens and contact Sunbeam Products to receive a free repair kit. The repair kit will include a clip-on device that provides additional holding force to keep the doors open in the open position when reaching into the oven, along with the repair instructions and a QR code link to an installation video. The repair kit does not require any tool to install. Unfortunately, they were not ahead of the situation when it comes to the recall. They say that, quote, Sunbeam Products Inc. has received 95 reports of the doors unexpectedly closing, resulting in burn injuries to consumers, including 2 reports of second-degree burns. And these are sold at Bed Bath & Beyond, which somehow still exist, Costco, Walmart, and other stores nationwide, including Amazon.com and Overstock.com, for between August 2015 and July 2025, for between $140 and, geez Louise, $250. And they're manufactured in, of course, China, as Trump would say. Recall number 25-475. And I don't know, I mean, when it comes to certain products, there's certain things that, you just work in terms of you think about it enough where you would think they'd be more of a quality assurance, kind of like the ignition for a car. When you turn on the car, I mean, that's the first thing you do is you turn on every time. But wait, General Motors had one of the largest recalls in history because they forgot that. But in all seriousness, a smart company would say, here are the few things that you interact with every single day when you're using this product. And considering this also involves copious amounts of heat, it's also, a safety issue. And I can't imagine the pain of those doors falling right on your arm when you're reaching in for a cannoli or whatever people eat or cook these days. So I got to say, Sunbeam, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. Greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down in the comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.